I'm frequently accused of meddling in affairs that have no concern of mine. I'm always told I mustn't take sides.
The Duke of Edinburgh. He may be the most senior man in the royal family, and of course has been the Queen's consort since she took the throne. But this hasn't stopped him from being prone to the odd mistake. This week, when visiting a care centre in Norfolk, he made a joke about pushing a toddler off an inflatable ball, which is the latest in a long line of many Prince Philip indiscretions.
Somebody asked me about it, I didn't volunteer the opinion.
So here are some of our favourite gaffes. Let's start with the 60s. In this decade, the Duke announced that British women can't cook. He famously said he would like to go to Russia very much, before accusing the nation of murdering half his family. He asked Tom Jones if he gargled with pebbles, and said of the royal family's finances, "We go into the red next year, I shall probably have to give up polo." When looking at Ethiopian art, he said, "It looks like the kind of thing my daughter would bring back from school art lessons." And the Duke said to a nurse in the Caribbean, "You have mosquitoes, I have the press."
And in fact, to use a currently OK word with the press, I must not be controversial.
Then in the 70s, we saw these gems. On a tour of Canada, Prince Philip said, "We don't come here for our health, we can think of other ways of enjoying ourselves." And reportedly said to a civil servant, "You're just a silly little Whitehall twit. You don't trust me, and I don't trust you."
I imagine you weren't even born then anyway, so I don't know what you know about it.
The 1980s were also a busy time for the Duke. In the recession in the early part of the decade, he said, "Everybody was saying we must have more leisure. Now they're complaining they're unemployed." And during a visit to Kenya, he asked a lady who presented him with a gift, "You are a woman, aren't you?"
You may think that I've spent rather a long time laying down the law with very little justification.
And the Duke's troubles abroad continued into the 90s, when in the Cayman Islands he asked a local, "Aren't most of you descended from pirates?" Also in the 90s, he said to survivors after the Lockerbie bombing, "People usually say that after a fire, the water damage is the worst. We're still drying out Windsor Castle." And of course, one of his most famous gaffes was when he asked a Scottish driving instructor, "How do you keep the natives off the booze long enough to pass the test?"
We should be beyond the point where we have to have a revolution or something about these things.
And then came the new millennium. Here's a rundown of the noughties. This classic quote happened. "People think there's a rigid class system here, but dukes have been known to marry chorus girls. Some have even married Americans." And of course, we all loved this incident when he told Elton John, "Oh, it's you that owns that ghastly car, is it? We often see it when driving to Windsor Castle." During a famous visit to Australia, Prince Philip said to an Aboriginal leader, "Do you still throw spears at each other?" And when chatting to Kate Blanchett, he asked her to fix his DVD player because she worked in the film industry. Utterly priceless.